Hi, I'm Charles Johnson, child of God, husband, son, father, most importantly, a problem solver. Born and raised in Chicago. Both my parents are still in my life. I have one sister, was raised in Inglewood. Proud to say, both my mother and my father has played a instrumental sort of in the development me as a man. My parents were both teenagers at the time, having two kids. My father was a bus driver, and my mother was a housekeeper in hotels. So from a beginning standpoint, was rich in love and care. Came up in a very strong village where both sides of my family, both sets of grandparents, were married and stayed together their entire lives. So while there was sort of chaos around me in terms of community, wrapped in my home and in my family life was rich in everything that I needed. Came up not necessarily a religious person, but spiritual, with a deep understanding of who I was and the importance of God in my life, but wasn't necessarily structured in sort of a religion. And product of Chicago Public Schools. After Chicago Public Schools, I went off to Tuskegee University, a proud graduate of a historically Black college. And so those were my early years. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, a very sort of a city that I love. And sometimes people say, well, I love my city, but I love my city and I love the people in it. I think that's a big difference. I grew up in Inglewood, so in my community, all I saw was pretty much African-American folks. And those who know Chicago understand that it's a very segregated city. Born in 1975, I'm 49 years old. Like even then, there were places that I just couldn't go. It's crazy to see now. Growing up in Inglewood, there were times I couldn't go to Bridgeport. Now, there are people who look like me who live in Bridgeport. There was periods of time where I couldn't go to Marquette Park. I mean, like literally, those were parts of the city where people of color were not allowed to go. So while Chicago is a very beautiful city and rich city in history, sort of growing up as a young Black man, there were sort of rules and guides. Anybody know about Chicago? We also know that it's a very beautiful town, but it's a gangster town. And there are cliques and factions of that also is a part of growing up and navigating a community. But in all of that, I wouldn't take away anything about my city. And I think those who are born and raised and make it in Chicago, they can make it almost anywhere, because Chicago gives you sort of the Southern hospitality of its roots, but also gives you the fast pace of big city. And equipped with both all of those elements, it really make you a strong leader if you lean into all those elements. So I always look at life at times in terms of tipping points and turning points. And I am a product of Chicago Public Schools, but with this dynamic twist. I went to elementary school at Perkins Bass Elementary School, and then I went on for my first sort of year and a half to Percy L. Julian, that's located on the far south side. My sister was at Whitney Young, and due to circumstances, it came a point where I was no longer able to continue to attend school at Julian. And my sister, she was at Whitney Young, which is a selective enrollment school, and everybody know that Whitney Young is renowned for putting out some of the most brightest minds out of the city. And it's not the only school that does that, but people know that school to be a highly rooted in academic excellence. And my sister, she petitioned on my behalf for me to have the opportunity. And when I didn't have a place to go, I was halfway through my sophomore year, she went then to the principal and asked them to utilize principal discretion, and I was able to transfer in. And I think that's where there was a major tipping point where I began to see educational excellence. I saw the diversity of our city. I saw the opportunity that was afforded some of the best and brightest minds, and I took full advantage of that. And I think at that point in my life, I realized a couple things about my city. One, coming from the neighborhood that I went to, I realized while I was spiritually and rich with love and spirituality, that from an economic standpoint, I saw a different world and realized that economically, I was, classified as poor because I saw other people living a lifestyle that was unfamiliar to me. And so that tipping point to me was really exposure, and that opportunity to be exposed opened up a world for me where I began to take education seriously. I leaned into diversity because that was the first time I was ever in a classroom with someone who was not of African descent. And so for me, it opened up a whole new world around Chicago for me. When I was around 13 or 14, my grandmother had us all around the table, and it was Thanksgiving. So at Thanksgiving, everybody know who has big families. Everybody is around the table after dinner playing cards and Monopoly and all that stuff that we do. And she had all the grandkids around. I was just one of the grandkids that were around. And she said, does anybody know who their great-great-grandfather was? Like, do you know his name? And, it sticks to me to this very day, and this is one of the things that drive me. And I said, well, I can tell you his last name because that's just by default. She said, well, no, tell me something about him. And none of the grandkids could. And she said, you don't know anything about him because he didn't leave you nothing. She said, had he left you something, you would be able to tell me something about him. Your great-great-granddaddy didn't leave you nothing. She said, spend the rest of your life making sure that your great-great-grandkids know who you are because you need to leave them something. So for me, I spend all my life in a situation where I want to leave my mark on something, and she said it doesn't have to necessarily be money. She said it could have been a book, it could have been an old dusty Bible, it could have been, but I looked at it and said, yeah, it could have been that, but it could be an endowment, it could be a trust, it could be some real estate, it can be, so I live my life to do just that, leave something for somebody behind me. And so I look at my life as saying I have to be the one to sort of break the generational curse of poverty in my family, break that curse and leave something behind. I believe we all have a superpower. And sometimes our superpower is identified by somebody else. Sometimes we go through life and then someone says, man, he's gonna be, or she's gonna be, or this is her talent, or this is his talent. And so for me, it started day one. My mother was a teenage mother when she had me. She was 19 when she had me, and she already had a 2.5-year-old at the time. And so when I was born, my mother said to the doctor, when she was in labor and I was coming out, and she realized that she had a son, she said, I just gave birth to the president. So she didn't know I was gonna be president of, she didn't say like president of the United States. She spoke it into existence. And to me, one, right out of the womb, I was gonna be a leader. So that had nothing to do with me. That had everything to do with, one, the blessing that she was gonna put on my life. So that's number one. So I was gonna be that regardless because I was destined to be that. I never follow, I always led. And so I did what I thought was right on my terms. So regardless of what I thought the outcome was going to be, good or bad, I marched to my own drum. I didn't go this path because my boys was going here. I didn't go this path because somebody told me I should do this. I did, and I lived the life that I wanted to live on my terms, meaning like I didn't follow. I chose to lead, and I think that's largely in part for two reasons. One, my mother's always tell me, hey, don't be a follower. Like, and don't be a follower, like be a leader. And then I have an aunt, she's my father's sister. She used to always say, that little voice in your mind is your subconsciousness is really, when it tells you something good, that's God. Listen to that voice. So when we run the streets late at night or this or whatever, she'll let us go outside. It'll be late. We'll go somewhere that could be, whatever it was. And she'll be like, whatever you do, if you encounter danger, listen to that small voice. And it'll tell you sort of how to. And so I never go against that small voice. And then I never follow. And I would say I never follow. That doesn't say I can't be led. That says that I'm a think for myself, not necessarily just because that's what the pack is doing. So I would say I'm most proud of myself to be able to say, hey, I'm in tune with that consciousness, and then I choose to do what I believe is best on my terms. I'm a firm believer of this. I don't look at initiatives. I look at people. I say, who are the people that is leading an organization or leading an initiative? And so I believe that good ideas and great commitment are not led by technology or money, it's led by people. So first I look at who's at the head of it. And then I say, I'm an energy person. I say, well, who's leading this initiative and why are they doing it? So who, what's their why? And then I say, well, what problem are they solving? Because I said earlier, I'm a problem solver. And so the very fact that this is content being created by people that I believe is going to create the balance in society between content that may lead people to think a certain way versus creating a platform rich in positivity that is going to inspire, that is going to motivate, that is going to educate, that is going to create access, that is going to create opportunity. So when I look at the auxiliary network, I say, one, I appreciate and I respect the people that are working on it. And two, I can really rock out with the problem that they're solving, because clearly there's so much other content that we're privy to and what we see that is always good for, good fresh air. And that's not to knock against anybody else's content, because I believe that there's creativity, innovation, and God in everything. But I also believe that there is a missed opportunity for the type of content that this network is looking to do that solves a big problem that is apparent to us all. I want to say this specifically to Black men. Every problem that's in our community that's happening right now, it's a problem that a Black man needs to solve. So I would say to them, and this has nothing to do with any other races or anything like that, because I love all people. I am a lover of people. However, there's a big discussion going around, and I think that across the whole world, there's a discussion, and we're looked at, meaning people of color, but specifically people of African descent that are descendants of the transatlantic slave trade, specifically. All of those problems are a Black man's responsibility. A Black male responsibility. And I say, like, let's show up as the person that we need to be in our businesses, in our communities, but most importantly, in our families. So let's be healthy, both physically and mentally. Let's work on ourselves. Let's unite, and let's have common interests, even though we all don't have to think the same way or work the same way. But I just think that in our communities, because I'm gonna go like a spot on the spot in our city that I love, in my city where I'm from, I believe that most of the things that occur in our city are a problem that Black men need to solve. And so we need to be responsible.
That is all I have, and we're good.
All right, good.
I want to give you the official Auxiliary Network t-shirt.
Okay, that's wonderful, wonderful. I appreciate that.
And the hat, you did.
Nothing.
Thank you for rocking with us, man.
All right,
You know
all
what I'm
right.
saying?
Represent. You know what I'm
did,
saying?
you did.
Finally famous?
And this is the Auxiliary Hall of Fame book. So we have our autographs from all the wonderful people who we have sat with, and you can pick a page and pick a marker.
Does it matter where?
Nope,
Any empty
any empty
space.
page you want.
I ain't gonna go right back here.
The good words, we know you got a lot of
And
them
then
in
give
there.
us just a signature.
I'll tell you what to say. I'm home now, we about to blow up.
I'm home
I'm
now,
home
we about
now.
to
We about to blow up.
Thank y'all for having me.
Good night.